Okay, this isn't going to be very fluent, but I just need to get out onto this. I've just had a meeting with Richie, Unit 3, performance, live action role play, and the Bonobo Experience. He said, what is it that I'm offering? And he really sort of pressed me on what that was about. So I started talking about community, about getting out of the concrete jungle. And he was like, what is it that you're offering? What is it? And is it a workshop? Is it a retreat? And then he says, need to beat the sceptics. What's the real reason? Why should people do the Bonobo Experience? What's its DNA? So I started to think, okay, well, I've talked about loneliness and belonging and togetherness and how that can help people reconnect with their own lives. But that wasn't entirely the bare bones of it. So it's a matriarch. They do things very differently. Is it a better alternative, or is there another way in which we can live? Again, that's very broad. So it's really, I'm going to have to try and condense it down to what is the Bonobo Experience for people, and they're going to, what is it? How do they emerge out of it? What is it that it offers them? So the idea of coming out of emerging from the concrete, going in to the Bonobo Experience, into the wild, emerging out of the concrete jungle, talking about the corporate sector, people that are very time poor, have lots of money, constantly in this sort of system. How can we kind of break the system, or agitate the system, or circumvent their pattern? That's something that would be an interesting thing to think about. Get them to reevaluate themselves after the Bonobo Experience. What is the Bonobo Experience competing with? So a bit of research there around, is there anything similar? It's about exploring space, really. What is it when you go into a new environment, time goes by, you distance yourself from the thing that you've left, but allowing yourself to breathe and have that space. It is a retreat in some ways, for sure, but I think it's trying to, with performance, and I think the performance and the live action role play are specific to the preliminary workshops and raising awareness. I don't think they are part of the Bonobo Experience. As it stands in the modular form, it's more about, you could create a live action role play Bonobo Experience, for example, and that might be more accessible for people than the sexuality workshops. So that's an interesting point. How agile is this workshop? It needs to be low cost, but it doesn't need to be said that it's low cost, and it needs to be able to have low commitment. Now we're getting into the nitty-gritty, really. So manage expectations of participants. So from the get-go, people are introduced to the workshop. So maybe it's 10 things you never knew about bonobos and live action role play, and just having a very small 45-minute presentation that can go into like boardrooms, LGBT groups, etc., and have this 45-minute workshop. Offer them 3 scenarios. So maybe an uptight banker goes into the wild, an isolated person finds community, and maybe an LGBT person connects to a new adapts to LGBT person is able to adapt to a new paradigm, a safer space for LGBT people. So it could be those three. So yes, I think I'm getting somewhere with this. It could be away days. It could be something here in Brighton. Could run it at a venue down here, and go to the different LGBT groups. Terek Siggins Trust could be one. There might be a one that the women in the team could do something outreach for women that have been abused, and sort of getting them to reconnect with women in the sisterhood. That's a great one, actually. Abuse victims, corporate people, and LGBT. And I think, lonely men. Okay, I think that's all I can extinguish. Thank you.